your optional was law, and that is something that we discourage aspirants from, even if you have a law background. What made you choose it?
And it has not been very easy. There were, as other aspirants also faced, there were a couple of challenges that I also faced in this journey. I used to watch your videos on Conquer Prelims that you had started in 2024.
Are you scared of joining the service? Look at it this way, if your daughter is doing well, I mean, I don't know whether your dad has said this or not, uh, ये मेरा बेटा है. One advice for a woman who's watching you right now, who wants to be part of the bureaucracy. Hello and welcome to Unacademy. Joining us today is AIR 78 CSE 2025, Mansi Gupta. She is an alumnus of National Law School of India, University, Bengaluru. This was your third attempt, and you managed to break the shackles, and you are a topper. Take us through your journey.
So, as you mentioned, this was my third attempt. So, there have been 3 long, arduous years that I have had put in CSE, and it has not been very easy. There were, as other aspirants also faced, there were a couple of challenges that I also faced in this journey. So, first was choosing to do UPSC when conventionally people from my college would take up a law firm job. I also had a pre-placement offer from a top law firm in the country, and but I chose not to go for that and to pursue civil services because I understood that when I have that knowledge of law, I do not simply want to argue that in court. I want to see it get implemented. So I feel as a lawyer, I have an advantage because I understand policy, I understand why that policy is made, and I would want to take a part in implementing that policy and ultimately later in life maybe making that policy. So that motivated me to pursue civil services. And when I decided, there was a little hesitation. But over the years, as I started studying, I really enjoyed the preparation and I pursued it after my graduation full time. I took my first attempt while I was in college in Bangalore in 2023. I could not clear prelims that year and I came back home. I decided to do it afresh. I focused a lot on mains first. In the 6 months, June to December, I really focused on mains, made mains specific notes. And then January onwards, I switched to prelims. Prelims was also a little difficult in the sense that I was not able to score well in mocks initially, but then I realized that importance of PYQs, how to take the mocks and how to analyze those mocks, making notes out of the mocks that I was making. Those things that really taught me how slowly and gradually I can improve my performance. I used to watch your videos on Conquer Prelims that you had started in 2024, and those really helped me.
We'll talk about that later. Sorry to interrupt your viewing experience, for I have an important update for you. To crack the civil services examination, an aspirant needs a structured learning program, classes, tests, mentorship. Now, to celebrate the tremendous success of Unacademy students in the CSE 2025, our Unacademy Plus subscription is now available at 16,999 for a limited period offer. Avail this opportunity, get in touch with us, prepare for this exam, and realize your dream of becoming an IAS officer. Let's crack it. But you joined law, which is a male bastion. And now you are going to be part of bureaucracy, which is, again, not considered to be a bastion for women. How difficult it is?
Sir, it certainly is difficult because people do not like women who are argumentative and they assume that women to be submissive
Or they want women to be submissive.
they want women to be submissive 100%. But I feel that times are really changing and it is upon women to take up that responsibility and give shape to their voices, and that will happen if we shatter that glass ceiling and if we enter the professions that are considered male bastions. So taking up law, first of all, my parents really supported me, and with that support, I thought I would be able to answer questions that society often faces, that no one wants a wife who's argumentative. If I have that support from my family and with the merit that I displayed through clearing CLAT and then going to the college, even there were a lot of arguments, there were a lot of debates. with my male colleagues, and I understood that there were certain assumptions that
Like?
so there are certain assumptions in the sense that taking care of household chores post marriage is a woman's job. It is
And
assumed.
this is coming from those who have cleared CLAT and reached the top law university of the country.
Yes, sir. And I mean, they would consider their mothers to be, self-sacrificing and some working tirelessly for their families, and they would appreciate that. It is appreciable, but it is also the fact that patriarchy is embedded in our society and gender roles are so prominent, so prevalent. So college taught us how to question that gender norms and sensitized us. Even by the end of fifth year, all my male colleagues and even us, I think all of us were quite sensitized, and we understood how men and women who have been assigned roles by societies are not something which is natural, and it is a product of patriarchy. So even in civil services, it is often difficult for people who are subordinate to a female officer to take commands from female officers. So, and women have to go an extra mile to show that authority. I feel if more and more women start taking up a profession in civil services, then it might seem as a norm. It might seem as normal thing that it is okay to have a women officer who's giving you a commands.
Are you scared of joining the service?
Certainly, I'm not. After studying 5 year law and after seeing the profession up close, it may get difficult.
A little worried?
There might be certain hesitation. What if somebody does not want to obey what I'm saying and then disobeys me? And what is it that I can do about it? There can be some. I can try to persuade them, but if things get out of my hand, it might get difficult at times. So I know that there are going to be challenges, but I'm ready for it.
And you have prepared for this exam online and secluded. You are not part of the mainstream. Wasn't it challenging? And how did you cope up with this?
Sir, I think isolation is a very big problem that every aspirant faces in this exam. And it is quite natural because you have to spend 8 to 10 hours studying every day. So you will do that alone. And that often gets to you. But I think I've been quite lucky in the fact that my family has been very supportive. I have my grandparents and parents who are living together, and I would often spend time in evening with my grandparents.
That's a stress buster.
That definitely is a stress buster. Then I would go for a walk with my parents. I would talk to my friends on call, or even meet them once in a few months. So that social support that I have really helped me cope up with the isolation.
You're an eloquent speaker as well. How did you learn it? What did you read? What did you watch? Because there are people, I'm sure, who would want to emulate you.
Sir, I would like to credit my college for the same because I come from a tier 3 city in Haryana, and I was not really a very good English speaker when I first went to college. But I think over the years, one thing that I have noticed help people is speaking. Often you might not have those environments where you are forced to speak in English, but I feel wherever you can, probably your internal thought process. Oftentimes we do that in our mother tongue. I think if we consciously do that in English, then naturally we're able to make good sentences, form good sentences. Secondly, I think newspaper reading. Once you that helps you in the paper also. But I think that significantly improves your reading comprehension and English skills. You learn vocabulary words. You also know how to connect sentences, how to frame sentences. So I think these things can really help.
I was not talking about your English speaking skills. I was talking about the clarity of thought that you have, how you present your arguments. There's a lot of internalization that has taken place, and that's enabling you to come out with thoughts. What led to that?
I think a lot of introspection led to the fact that I am a little self aware. I am able to present those thoughts well because I think about it, and I am able to express them in a way that, like, I'm explaining it to a 5 year old. I think clarity comes from the fact that you're not complicating things. Once you're able to break it down to the subcomponents and you're able to explain it to anyone, I think that way you will also be clear. The other person will also understand you better.
Your optional was law, and that is something that we discourage aspirants from, even if you have a law background. What made you choose it? Were you also discouraged?
I was discouraged by my seniors, by a few other people that it is not a scoring optional. And to some extent now I would also agree that it is not a very scoring optional, because in my 2024 attempt I scored significantly low in law optional. I am hopeful that it would have increased this year, which
Or
will,
maybe your spectacular performance in GS is
that is also
com-
possible.
compensating for the loss in
The
law.
marks haven't been out yet, so can't really comment on that. But I would like to give this as a caveat that it is not a very scoring optional. The only advantage I feel is for a lawyer who is taking law optional, you might not have to do some other optional from scratch. That basic understanding in law is gives you an edge in terms of completion of syllabus in time and revision. So I felt that I was also lacking in revision in my 24 attempt. So it was not just that the scoring was low, I was also lacking. That is one thing. If done well, it's not that bad as an optional.
You spoke about being self-aware and introspect a lot. Did you also introspect why women generally tend to avoid civil services preparation? Maybe in your college, in your vicinity, in your friend circle. What's the reason?
I think one major reason that I can think of is how the job is of such a nature that you are required to transfer every 2 to 3 years. Or
Is that the reason?
I think that is something that that is something that felt to me as an hindrance.
No, I'm not judging you,
No.
but is that the reason? Or is it that you don't want to be part of it? You don't want to compete with men and be overshadowed? Or you fear that our decisions may not be respected when we take them? We will be disobeyed.
But that definitely is a problem. But I don't think that in 2025 all the women are thinking like that. There might be a certain section, there might be a large section of women who might not come up and take up civil services or even law as a career because of this inhibition. But I feel that today people are really investing in their daughters' education, and they are very aware and they would want to compete with men. In CBSE results, in ICSE results, in every sort of results, women are doing significantly better than men.
But is it also true that your professional achievements are an add on? Your primary job is still to take care of the family.
I think it is still assumed so that that your whole identity comes down to how you do good or well as a wife, or as somebody who has to take up the care burden or the care share for the
Because
family.
look at it this way, if your daughter is doing well, I mean, I don't know whether your dad has said this or not, ये मेरा बेटा है. Is it?
So I think that is exactly what gender roles are like. The women are
A
assumed
successful woman is a beta.
is a beta. Yeah, I think that is the quality, the attribute of a success, of how professional achievement is attributed, is a male trait. And that male trait is often is like madams, the concept of madam sir, or the concept of how even women who are doing well, or women who are in position of authority, then are seen akin to a man. I think that is because you have attributed that trait as a male trait, that success trait or that authority as a male trait. And I think that slowly we are shattering that barrier, and
Still a
we
long
will.
way to go.
There is, but I think we are somewhere there.
One advice for a woman who's watching you right now, who wants to be part of the bureaucracy.
I think don't be scared. That is as blunt as I can get. You really
Scared of what?
scared of judgment, scared of being dismissed, scared of not being heard. I think it is quite important that women be very confident, take upon the responsibility on themselves, and whatever challenges are there are facing them boldly. So if they are being dismissed, they should have that authority. If they're preparing for the exam, they are putting themselves out there. They really have the authority, and they should utilize that authority to shut those voices which doubt them.
And into the camera, one final word you wanted to talk about the IAS English team. Here's your floor.
I am extremely grateful to the IIS English team. The Conquer Prelims initiative for 2024 and 2025 have been really helpful for me. I have watched almost all of their lectures, made notes out of them, and revised them. and that has really I feel that gave me an edge in prelims, attempting the 24 and 25 prelims. In fact, the 2025 prelims, I only had a month to prepare, and those videos were really a savior.
Thank you so much for watching us, and all the women who are watching us right now. Take this as an inspiration. Get into civil services if at all you want to be part of the bureaucracy. Don't go out of it just because you're scared of failure or being dismissed. Take up this challenge, be part of the bureaucracy, and as Mahatma Gandhi would say, be the change that you wish to see in the world. Thank you for watching. Goodbye.